Good day. It's Rick from the Corn Life Network. I am here in my apartment, and this episode of the Corn Life Network is going to get very real about my life. So the kids might not be appropriate. I'm not going to cuss or anything. I don't do that on my videos or anything. But this one could get heavy about what I'm talking about. So the adults watch. Maybe the kids might have a few questions. So if you're familiar with mental illness and you're familiar with addiction, this one's going to get real. So we'll talk about that a bit. But it's time I get honest about where I am in life and where I'm at. So some new viewers to the channel might enjoy this because it's going to be open and honest. And but I'm out here enjoying the weather. It's really nice outside. A little bit of rain, and I'm watching the bats fly around at night. They fly around, and it's kind of cool. But I'm out here tonight just enjoying the weather. It's about, I don't even know, my watch is dead. So it's probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But I'm outside at my apartment just enjoying the weather. But it's going to be a great one. It always is. It's going to be a great vlog because if you are into honesty and openness, this is me and this is what I'm going to get into. Because I am a positive person and I focus, but man, my life has been crazy. So stick around. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to walk you in and explain what everything is here at my apartment. I won't go through the security process of how this all works, but there are cameras everywhere here watching what you do here as far as security, because it's definitely needed. We have some unwanted people who I'm around. Won't get into that, but I'm going to turn this off for a second. So I have unlocked the door and I'm coming in. There's a camera. But here's an elevator. They're painting the halls, which is really nice. They're repainting the walls from this crappy brown color that you used to see on my floor, this gray color, and they're really spending money. The new owners are from Beverly Hills, and they have, this is the old color. They haven't painted that yet. It'd be a dark gray. But here's our elevator. And we go up. I live on the 3rd floor. And I will not show you exactly what apartment I live in because that's not safe, but it's a good place to live. I really like it here. When I first got here, I used to think, why am I here? Why am I in senior and disabled housing? Everyone's sick and old. That's what I thought. I hadn't gotten to know anybody. These people are really cool people. Really cool people. All of them. Here's this pukey brown color that, I didn't switch it. There's this really pukey brown color that we have in the rest of the building. They're hiring painters to paint this. And it's going to be a beautiful gray with different colors and lots of good stuff going on here. The new owners are spending a lot of money to get this place up to a nice place to live, because this kind of looks like a hospital. My friends described it in my videos. It kind of looks like a hospital. You know, it's got railings and stuff. That's for people with physical disabilities. And here's my apartment. I'll turn this off. Here at my apartment again. I'm upstairs on the 3rd floor looking out the window, and I have the best view in the apartment. I think it overlooks the corner here. And I watch buses go by and big trucks and stuff that make lots of noise. The windows are open tonight because it's a really nice night. But my apartment's a mess, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's a mess. I have laundry and stuff everywhere, and I don't really want to show that on camera, but I have my beautiful cats here. I have vacuumed today, so that's good. But I've got some LaCroix cans and a couple coffee cups and so, and that's not something on our show, but I'm just being real. I'm going to be real about my life. Sometimes my apartment's a mess. It is what it is. I'm a single guy. It doesn't smell. It doesn't smell at all. Actually, I use really good cat litter. I clean it daily, so I don't have the cat smell that a lot of people associate with cats. I use really good litter. It's called Okio Cat. I recommend it for all cat owners. It's available from Chewy. They'll ship it right to your door. It's really good stuff. That I'm not being endorsed, but I endorse that a lot. But let's get real here. I have been disabled, but with bipolar disorder since I was about, we used to be manic depression, but it's now called bipolar disorder since I was about 30. I started having problems when I was in my 20s. About 26, I started to have really weird paranoid visions, like people outside my window. And at that time, I was married to my first wife, of which I have 5. I won't get into all that. I will talk. I have 5 marriages, some related to my mental health condition, like the last one, and some related to alcohol. Some just related to bad decision making. But my first marriage ended when I told her I had bipolar disorder. She wanted to be married to someone who would be disabled and have problems. It's kind of young. She wanted a better life. She's not married to a police officer or a retired police officer, and she lives in California or Nevada or something. I don't know. I don't keep track of her. She was my high school sweetheart, and I was not ill. I was working a full-time job as a chef, which I still do on occasion, but I don't deal with stress well. To be honest with you, I don't deal with stress at all. I try to keep my life as simple as possible with no stress. I've decided that relationships early on for me. I'm not saying I won't ever get into one, but I don't deal with stress or arguing or people yelling at me well at all, which is why sometimes I leave jobs, because I just don't deal with stress. I can handle peaceful harmony, and I love to cook. When people start yelling at me and cussing at me and stuff, I don't deal. I don't deal with it, which is why my last job with the produce stand ended, because I just can't handle a guy who yells and hates everybody. At least that's what I encountered. Other people who watch this video love the guy, and that's okay. I can see why. He's a very cool guy to know. I like him. I like his work ethic, and I like what he did for our community with the produce stand. I really did. But it was hard to deal with him every day, and I just couldn't deal with the stress. So I quit in a very kind of inappropriate way. Let's just say it was appropriate for me, it wasn't for him, and I created some chaos, and I regret that, and I don't like being known for that. It was inappropriate, but I just couldn't deal, and that's part of my disability, to not deal with stress, because if I deal with stress, I withdraw from it, because I know what it does to me. I won't talk about my last marriage, I just won't, because there's reasons why, but it ended because of a mental illness issue. Severe mental illness issue because of stress in our relationship. And I'm sad about it, but I've gotten over it. I'm done with it. I don't want anything to do with her. I'm staying far away from her because I don't want her to have to deal with my life issues. That's why I'm considering kind of staying single and not do relationships at all. When I try to get into them, I don't know in the future what I'll do, but right now they're just not for me. So as you can tell, this is a big one. But as I was saying before, my life is simple. I have a lot of things, but over my life I've lost a lot of things too. But luckily my last wife, who's a good lady, made sure I got a lot of my important things back. She gave me pretty much everything that was mine. And I still have some in storage in a basement in a town near here. So I can get that whenever I want to. It's been a kind of a hassle getting the last bit of stuff from her, which she wants to give me, but the person who, like, there's conflict between them, I guess, in getting the time and place, but I'll eventually get it. But let's talk about the disability more. It causes mood swings, okay, severe mood swings. And in my latest episode last year was a manic episode. It was born a year and a half ago now. So while I'm stable, I can handle jobs. I can deal with them. I can do them. But the stress issue has always been an issue for me. So sometimes I just plain deliver my retirement, right? Because it's hell trying to go through all these jobs. And that's a common thing with people with bipolar disorder. We go in and out of jobs. We do stuff. So I don't know. I love people recommending me for jobs. I love it because I'm a good worker and I do that. But when I encounter stress, I just don't do well. I mean, that's just me being open and honest about my life. I have been successful, and I'm going to be successful at life. I will continue I've learned that I can't hold my value in a job or a workplace. Am I a good cook? Yes, I am. Kind of how stress at work handles stress that goes along with working. In a full-time job, I don't know. I haven't been successful before. And that was one of the reasons I decided to get out of cooking when I first got into it. After it was my love, it was my passion. I still love to cook, as you can see. But the food industry is extremely stressful. There's a lot of drug and alcohol abuse. And I don't deal. I don't deal with that. As a sober person, a 2-year sober, which I'm very proud of. And for recovery, for a lot of people, it means recovering from alcohol addiction or drug addiction. Alcohol was my drug of choice. So when I recover from alcohol, everyone expects you're going to get a full-time job, you're going to do all this stuff. That's not going to work for me. So my issue of recovery is staying sober and living a stress-free life so I can recover from the other issues, the bipolar disorder. They call that a dual diagnosis. So I have a very complicated thing, a substance abuse disorder and bipolar disorder. Dual diagnoses are a headache. They're hard to treat. And the main thing I got to have in my life is serenity and peace. And that's what keeps me going. But the rest of recovery is going to have to look different for me. It's going to have to. I'm stable right now. I have a nice place to live. I can't complain about where I live at all. And the first thought process that came to my head before I was actually trying to be positive is, man, these people are all sick and old. It's true. There's a guy down the hall with COPD, and he continues to smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke with no end in sight. So it's watching someone physically kill themselves, and watching him struggle with his breathing and stuff has been hard. But I choose to be around these people, and a lot of the seniors don't understand mental disabilities. That's truth. They have an idea of what this is. It's like, well, it's not really a disease. You can force your way through it. I can't. I've tried. I just get stressed out, and I just can't. So I'm living a comfortable life right now on my retirement, which is pretty good, actually. I can't complain because of all the years I did work. It's based on your income and how many quarters you worked and all that stuff based on Social Security and disability. So I hope this explains some of my life to people. But I live in a nice place, and we'll end this with my cat. Hey, cat, you got to get away from the. You're digging at the screen. I can't have that. But you're seeing things out there. Maybe I'll shut the window. I'll turn this around so you can see her. This is Amy. There, Amy. Amy, kitty, 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 kitty. There's my beautiful girl. I'm so lucky to have her. I'm so lucky to have her. You have no idea. If you heard my story about my animals in the last place, you'd be surprised I even would get one. I was really hesitant to get one. We won't get into that. That's too honest. But yeah, she's my dream. You know, she's the cat I've always wanted and always needed. She's a female cat who's had the kittens, and she's just as docile as can be. But I love her. I love her a lot. Some people would consider my life sad. I don't think that way. I focus on the gratitude of what I have and how great life is right now. This isn't everyone's ideal. Man, I'm 53 years old on Sunday. I'll have a 53rd birthday. I'm making my own cake, a lemon cake with some frosting. It's gonna be a simple cake, and I might get some candles. I don't know, we'll see. Depends on how tomorrow goes, which is fine. I don't have anything to do tomorrow, so there'll be another vlog, but I'm probably just gonna go for a walk around town. We'll see, depending on the weather. It's raining right now. I don't know, but that's my honest take on my life, where I'm at now. I live a good life, and I can't complain. I'm so grateful for what I have and what I have in life. I mean, everyone at 53 should have a big house, and I've had that. I've had when I retired, my mom and I sold a house, the family home in California, and moved to Arizona. And I had a 2,400 square foot 4-bedroom house with a pool in the backyard, and the house you saw when I was in Arizona. And that was the dream house, you know. That was not the dream. That was a $10,000 a month payment on, like, we had a mortgage, and we had a incredibly large, we had 2 air conditioning units to cover that 24 square foot house in Arizona, and it was a huge expanse. We had to move out of it. So we moved out of there and moved to a place called La Mirage, which was nice too. It had a nice community, and that was nice. Then we moved to Iowa, and my mom and I did, when she was going to pass away, and she died in 2009. So I've been without parents since 2009, which has been a lot of misguided decisions since then. Probably not getting into a couple of the marriages I got into, which just me wanting to live the life my parents had, you know, leaving and growing, and I had all these dreams, you know. But I can say right at this point, I'm satisfied with life. I have a cat. I have a nice place to live. I have all the food I ever want in my refrigerator. It really is. It's amazing what I can afford. Even with the higher price of groceries. Living by yourself is pretty cool, and I've never done it. I went from like relationship, thinking I needed to be with a person, right? I don't need that. I'm pretty happy by myself with my cat and the things that I have left over from my life. I'm pretty stoked. I have a couple plants that people have given me. Claire gave me this wonderful plant. It's still alive. Claire, you're out there. I'm sure you'd enjoy the plant. Maybe I'll show it to you as my final thing here. But a lot of things were given to me, and there's some things I need to sell, and there's some things there's a barnwood shelf I'm not going to use that I might sell on Facebook Marketplace. It's really nice. I might take some pictures of it and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. but I'm really satisfied with life. And while it might change, who knows what will happen in life? I mean, HUD funding might change, Social Security might change in my life. There's always going to be ups and downs in life, you know. But I try not to stress over little things. A lot of these things are uncontrollable, as I found. Totally uncontrollable and out of my hands. So I don't worry. I don't worry. I'll deal with it as they come. And I'll stay sober. I know if I could go through a hard divorce with a little bit of homelessness, I can get through anything sober. And that's how I want to end this vlog. This is just me sitting and talking today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Rick for the Corn Life Network signing out.